on. Why isn't Michelle showing her face? My God, Michelle, I miss you. Come on. That's not fair. Oh, is that what you're doing? Are you messing around with the video screen? No. Who's 298?
Maria.
Oh, Maria, when am I going to see your face too, man?
Never.
God. Christina is trying to sell a challenge pack, so she's going to be late. I don't know where Vicky is. I know that. Man, we got to start on time, peoples. All right, let me go to that.
Hello.
We're doing it.
Oh, Barbie's on. Okay, nobody's showing their face. Oh yeah, Barbie's gonna show her face.
Hello. Sorry, I'm eating up dinner. I'll be right there.
No, it's okay. We're kind of just waiting for more people. Everybody's in school today.
Do I see you over?
Vicky's on. Okay, there's Vicky. All right, we're still missing a couple people. What are we missing? Oh, poor thing. All right.
There we go.
Let's see. Gallery view. Kind of like gallery view. Very cool. All right, is everybody hearing me okay? I'm just going to do an audio test. I'm going to blow out anybody's eardrums. Clear.
I don't know why Cleo says that she hears you a lot louder than me.
I'm like, you mean my kids or you mean me? Which one?
All you damn kids.
My damn kids?
All right, let's start.
Yeah.
So really quick. Hey, everybody. Are you recording it?
Yes.
Hey. So hello, Team Phoenix. Welcome to our team call. It is May 13th, maybe. I don't know. May something. Yes, May 13th. It's Wednesday. I am so excited that I did not have to plan anything for this call. That Karen is going to bring it. And I can't wait. I really can't, because I know she's gonna be very honest with us. I think that sometimes I'm too soft and too easy. So she's definitely going to set us straight. So before we get into Karen, let's just talk a little bit about recognition. Oh, recognition. Okay. So Carolina is at SE2. Greg is at SE2. I don't know what's wrong with me, but somehow I'm at SE16. I think. We'll talk about that. Mandy is at SE2. Barbie is at SE6. Karen is at SE2. And Cleo is at SE2. So we got some movement. Thank God that we still have half the month to go. Please do not wait to the last few days. This is a time to hustle. You guys need to post about your challenge groups. I'm at the point that I'm not posting right now anymore because I don't want to take any more people, because I still have a couple out there pending. So it's not that I'm not, I can't handle that right now. I can't handle anymore. But please announce. According to the calendar, try to do something posting tomorrow about Shakeology. Sorry, that's my phone. So pretty much what's going on with me a little bit this month, I think people are just coming out of the woodworks. People that I've asked to join my challenge groups from last year, people from a few months ago, and all of a sudden I'm getting a good response with the ad that I put. I sold my first challenge pack to a Canadian customer, all through that one ad. Please take nice pictures. And I was talking to the Diamonds in Diesel Nation about this. Even if you can't afford right now a professional picture, get a nice camera with a background that's maybe like a white wall. get your hair done, get your makeup, take a nice picture, whether it be with clothes, like a nice dress or just fitness clothes. Let it be you. So let your personality shine, and just kind of play with it with different fonts, with different apps, because it works. Like really nice pictures with your ads work. So
Jeanette,
yes.
I know you said you had someone. Maybe we can have someone when they take professional. Oh no, never mind. I was going to say maybe we can have a template that we can just pass along and people can plug in their picture, but their picture may not be the same. But maybe we can have some sort of template and people can maybe adjust the colors and make it easy.
The template about the ad, like the Facebook.
Maybe like a Facebook cover template, Team Phoenix, something.
Yeah, I suck at PicMonkey, and that's on my to-do list to really learn, so I can share that. But yes, because you can leave kind of like a little space and people can just insert their picture. I think that's a great idea. If I know that you're good at that, feel free until I learn. But that, I know that that works for a lot of people. What else? Planting seeds. I've been planting a lot of seeds and now they're coming to fruition. I just got a new coach and I just kind of want to just tell you a little bit of the background. In Messenger, I have like the history. I asked her of April of 2014 to be a coach. She told me no, that she was too busy. When I came back from Cancun, I messaged her, I forgot what I said. It was something like, hey, I don't know if you're ready, but I would love to have you on my team. Last night, I'm talking to Maria and she just says, I'm all ears, let's talk. Grabbed the phone the next day and I signed her up today. So it's just planting the seeds. No is just no for today, for tomorrow, but not in the future, okay? Every month that happens to me, so that's kind of cool. Can you guys all have the app WhatsApp? WHATS app for the new coaches. I'm gonna have like a group chat. I know a lot of us don't we're not on Facebook enough. So when there's just information or motivation that I want to put and where we can just share tips. So if you can get that app, WhatsApp, and I'm going to do a Team Phoenix group for that. The car Deitler, his call was very good. I hope that you guys listened to it. By the time you can fast forward to the last 15 minutes when he's on, we have reached the 300,000 mark for coaches, and that is really huge. His goal is 1 million. So remember that 300,000 is nothing compared to the amount of people that are in this country and in Canada. So we are still very small. They are sending out 30,000 packages a day. So the company is growing super fast. They are trying their best to adjust and grow. So imagine 30,000 packages that are going out. So I know that we've had some trouble with packages, but now you know the reason why. And like I say, they are very aware of the problems. It is a very small amount of problems that are going on. He talked about 4 things for you to be positive, that this is a business where you have to be positive, and that's where personal development comes in. Know your strengths. So we all work this business a little bit different. And it just works. Some of us are good at social media. Some of us are really good face-to-face and in transformation. Barbie, she barely posts anything on Facebook about being a coach. And she has, hit Success Club every single month since she started. That's the way I started. So if that works, go for it. Endure failure. That's a common theme. We are going to fail and fail and fail, but we just have to just get over it and learn and keep moving on. Keep focused on your priorities. So what are your priorities? Your priorities are, we got to help more people. We got to get people healthy. Those are our priorities. So any questions on those things that I've said? No? Okay, also, so today I'm just kind of tell you what's kind of going on in the background with Diesel Nation. We are trying to come up with systems. I shared my scripts, so that's something that we're going to be sharing with Diesel Nation. My coach email system, my first 5 letters, we're going to be sharing that. So the goal is that Diesel Nation will eventually have a web page that's going to have everything very organized, so that everybody is in the same page and everybody has the information. So that is coming up in the works. So hopefully soon. And I'm working with Becky and my success partner on kind of doing all these scripts. I know that Christina Delgado is working on a new coach training. I'm going to be working with my success partner on doing like a second version after basic training, where to go from there. The only question I have for you guys is that would you prefer the second training to be an email type system automation or another Facebook group where you have daily tasks?
I think email would work for me.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. Either one works fine for me. As long as I have something to do every day, like keeps you on track. It's
Right.
fine.
You know, we are going to, I do want to do a push to Diamond Group, which will include like, and this is, you don't have to go into this group. It's going to be an intense group about the vital behaviors. Like we're going to have, you know, activities that you need to do every day. You're going to have to post something that you read of personal development. You're going to have to put the names of the people that you invited for the coaching opportunity. So it's going to be intense because we want you guys to get out of your comfort zone and move your business forward. This is not going to be a mandatory thing. I have more details as it comes closer. I do want to start it in June. And it is just if you really want to push your business forward without any compromiso. But we are going to be strict about posting every day and following the behaviors that we're giving you. So to keep it short, now I present to you Karen Diaz. So Karen, just kind of introduce yourself. Talk about, you know, when you became a coach, your little story about how you just didn't want to really work it at the beginning. So, all right, guys, this is Karen.
Okay, well, I love when Jeanette bosses me around. It works for me. It works for my personality. First of all, you know, thank you guys for being on this call. I'm being humbled and honored, and I hope you walk away with something from this. I'm putting my heart into this, and I don't take your time lightly or your attention, first of all. I don't think I'm any better than you, but I do believe that we are a team, and whenever I learn something or I hear something, the first people I think about are you guys. I think, I gotta tell so-and-so, oh, I wish so-and-so could be here. So that's where I'm at, you know, and that's how I operate. My story starts with, you know, a play date that I had with Christina Filippelli. I don't even know how to say her last name. With Christina back in September. And I had hit a wall in my nutrition, and she was just like, hey, try Shakeology, try a 21-day fix. And I did, you know. I already had a good experience with Beachbody P90X, you know, a couple years ago. And again, because I liked Christina and I trusted her, and I was open-minded, I tried it and loved it. For me, three of my passions are personal development, social media marketing, and fitness, obviously. And for me, like, Beachbody was a no-brainer. It was kind of like, why wasn't it sooner? You know, it was one of those types of things. But
She was a hard catch, man. If she wasn't that easy to get, it took a long time for her to sign up.
no, it took me like 2 weeks. Yeah, by the time that Christina actually talked to me about it and we met up, it was like a done deal. Oh, and then I went to like a Super Saturday and I signed up after that. Anyway, I don't think it was that long. But I was going through some things, and like anybody else, you sign up for something and you think like, oh my gosh, money's going to fall out of the sky and Success Club and all this other stuff. Or I was going through my own stuff, and it was during the holidays. So I wasn't really working the biz, and there came a time when I almost dropped out. But I didn't drop out because I knew there was something about me, because, hey, I was really excited about this opportunity, and suddenly I wasn't, and there was no reason for that to change. It was really more my mindset at the time. So I held on because I knew I was probably just in a funk. I was a woman. I was in a mood. I was in a state. So I was just like, wait. I was like, I don't even work this business, and I want to drop out of it. So I got my ish together in February, and I hit like Success Club 14 or something ridiculous like that. I was like, and then I hit Success Club the following month. And so, you know, something just switched in me, and something just kind of went off that, you know what, this was it. This wasn't a deadline anymore. This was kind of until I succeed, because I am going to succeed. And that's kind of the mindset I have. And whenever I kind of start getting doubtful or fearful, I plug myself back in where I need to, or I talk to Jeanette, or I talk to somebody else, because, you know, it happens. And so that's where I'm at. And ever since then, I've just been hungry. I've been resourceful. I have not been perfect. There's still room for me to grow and still room for me to learn. And man, do I wish I could quit my full-time so I can just pursue this, make this my full-time. Like, man. But anyway, that is where I'm at. You know, just kind of working the biz and, you know, trying to make this happen, making the dreams a reality and making the steps. So the reason I'm doing this call is because Jeanette is tired of planning these Wednesday calls. No, I'm kidding. I went to Danny Johnson, which is kind of this this networking guru last week. Her workshop is called First Steps to Success, and I've heard really great things about it. She's very intense. She's aggressive. She's a two straight, which I like. And she's also a Christian. Her workshop covers everything. People go there for business, but she will cover business. She will cover your beliefs. She will cover your spirituality. She will cover your priorities, your families. I mean, like, she works you over. She will tell you about yourself, which I love, again. So I'm just going to kind of share some of the things that resonated with me, and I'm going to share that with you. They challenged me in a good way, and I hope they challenge you also in a good way, because at the end of the day, we are a team, and I don't have this in my full-time. I don't have this in your full-time either. Anyway, so we'll get there. Without further ado, let me get into my shorter PowerPoint and just go from there. All right, share screen. Okay, can you guys see this? Is everybody seeing this on their screen? Yes, no? Yeah? Okay. This is one of the quotes that I thought resonated with me, and it's going to be the tone of what we're going to talk about today. Where there is no vision, there is no commitment. Where there is no commitment, there is no focus. Where there is no focus, there is no ownership. Where there is no ownership, there is no persistence. Where there is no persistence, there is no success. Okay? Not because I think I'm so wise or anything, but if something jumps out of you, take notes and go back and think and ponder, what is your vision? Am I committed? How focused am I? Am I fully taking ownership of this business opportunity? Am I taking ownership of this investment? Am I being persistent? Am I showing up daily? And can I be more successful? So this is how I want you guys to, to look at that. And this is how this will be our tone. Okay. How you work your business determines if you even have a business. I love when she kind of talks about this. Like how you work your business determines even if you have a business. So things that we're going to look at today are, we're going to talk about goals, beliefs, and objections. Things that we confront every single day. You may have heard this before, but I truly believe that there's no point in building and going on to step 7 unless we go back and master step 3 or even step 1. So let's just kind of take it back a little bit and then build from there. So goals. Without a target, there is no path. Look, I mean, let's face it. If, I don't get in my car and it's going to drive me wherever I want to go. It's going to go where I direct it. Okay, so if I want to go to Publix, I know exactly how to get there. I know which turns to take. I know what street I have to go down. I have my list. I'm prepared. I might forget my list. Maybe I'll make it in my phone. But the point is that I have a destination. I have a tool to get there, a vehicle to get there, and I'm going to get there. I know how to get there. Okay. Now, for some reason in our business, we keep skipping the step of having goals, or maybe we write them down somewhere and it disappears. Okay. You have to have goals. You have to have a vision for your life. You have to be able to see it and have something where you can measure, first of all. It sounds very rudimentary, but all the greats, all the successful people say that because it holds them accountable. A man without vision will perish. Okay? So if you don't have a vision for your kids, if you don't have a vision for your life, you're basically living by default and not by design. Okay? We don't want that. We don't want to kind of have life living us. We want to live life, right? We want to take life by the horns. And the same thing with this business. So if you don't have goals, you don't just open a business and then just like, oh, I hope somebody buys from me today. That is not business. That is just not how you want. That's not how you want to run things. Again, you're just going to be living by default. Things are going to happen to you. You're going to be reacting instead of responding. You're not going to have a way to get there. Okay. Now we're also going to talk about beliefs. Your ego and fear, your procrastination and excuses, our operating system. A tree is known by its fruits. Okay. Now, those of us that have spouses, I mean, whenever we ask somebody, what do you want to eat? I don't know. How infuriating is that? Okay. So if we have that attitude in our business, I don't know. Okay. How many trash packs do you want to sell? I don't know. Well, then come back to me when you do know. Okay. Nobody likes somebody that's wishy-washy. Nobody likes somebody that doesn't have goals. And you know what? That doesn't inspire challengers to come see you. That doesn't inspire coaches to come see you. If you don't know, you can't teach them, can they? Can you? No, you can't. So first and foremost, you have to establish goals at some point. And we'll get to that in a second on how, you know, maybe you don't know what you want. Okay, so we've got to take it back a little bit further. Second are your beliefs. Okay, ego. One thing that we like to talk about, weigh your ego against your bank account. One thing that I know is that none of us were born coaches. I wasn't born a Beachbody coach. I wasn't born a 5-star diamond, a 10-star, 15-star diamond. I just wasn't. There are things that I need to learn, okay? But if you are the type of person that when somebody tries to teach you something and you go, I know. No, you don't know. You have never done this, okay? So the minute that you start seeing that is fear talking, okay? Because your ego is basically protecting your fear. And your ego makes you defensive. Your ego makes you unteachable. It makes you do all these crazy things, okay? It doesn't let you grow because it's too busy trying to keep you like this and protect this fragile little ego from getting its feelings hurt or whatever, okay? A tree is known by its fruits. Very simple. You know, your life, your business, everything is a reflection of all of the decisions that you've made. Jeanette is at Success Club 14. Why? We can probably trace that back to all her different actions, all the compound effect of the little daily behaviors that have led up to that. Some of us get lucky and we can have bad months, but the point is that she has planted those seeds, she reaped it, and now she has the fruits. Okay, see how that happens? It's definitely a process, but you have to plant. It's just not going to out of nowhere. The person we believe ourselves to be will always be in a manner consistent with self-image. Okay, I love that by Brian Tracy. This goes back to beliefs. Because I think when we're coaches, we think, deep down, we think, who's going to listen to me? I don't look a certain way. Who's going to listen to me? I don't have a personal training degree. Okay, and if you have that belief, you're going to project that. People smell it on you. It's like confidence. When you're arrogant, it stinks like holy hell. Okay. It's disgusting. It'll turn you off. But if you're confident, if you're happy and you're magnetic, that's going to attract people. So you have to get around those beliefs and kind of really just figure out what's holding you back. And once you know what's holding you back, once you have that awareness, then you can grow. But you have to be willing to get there. Okay? You have to be willing to get to that dark side of you, that little girl in you that maybe was told that you didn't amount to anything, that you're always going to be fat, that you are no good, that you just aren't smart, you can't do math, that people don't like you. You're going to have to deal with it, okay? Because now you're trying to lead people and attract people to you. And so if you want to help people overcome their stuff, their garbage, you're going to have to overcome yours, okay? And welcome that opportunity to become better and to heal from that. We're going to talk about objections. This is my favorite thing, okay? I want you guys to look at objections, that when people come to you with objections, and especially the ones that make you uncomfortable, you know, the objections where it's like you're doing really good communicating and all of a sudden it falls apart on you, okay, those objections are a reflection of you in the sense that if you kind of give them a pass, like let's say someone says, I don't have the money, and you're like, oh, I understand. That's a reflection of you. Shakeology is expensive. Again, it's a reflection of you. Projection. Where we're at with our own business and the products and the Beachbody stuff, we project that, okay? So if we're not confident about what we're offering, If we're not really legit, like Beachbody is the ish, people know it. Okay? And if we have doubts, they're gonna have doubts. And this is we're gonna go back to like the poverty mindset. Stay with me. Okay, going back to our mirrors and projecting. I had this client once, and he was trying to start a school, and he was working on his pricing system. He told a colleague that he didn't want to charge a certain price, and it was almost like it was too cheap, right? And he kept saying, "Oh, but most people can't afford that. Most people can't afford that." And it boggled my mind because I'm thinking, are you running a business or are you running a charity? And then my colleague told me something that was very, and if I'm blowing your eardrums, please tell me. And he told me something very interesting. He said, "Karen, the reason why he thinks people are broke is because he's broke." Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? Like so next time someone tells you Shakeology is expensive and you buckle, you think Shakeology is too expensive. It's too expensive for you. Just think about that. If you think the coaching opportunity is risky and you don't know how to come back with conviction or with confidence, you have some work to do on this opportunity. Okay? And if you give people a pass, it's because you have doubts. You're not seeing the value. Now, in using Shakeology as an example, again, oh, it's too expensive. Okay, so if someone says too expensive and you're like, I understand, it's possibly because it's too expensive for you. If it's too expensive for you, that means that you haven't been reading the literature that comes in every box. You haven't taken 5 minutes, 10 minutes to Google some of those ingredients. You haven't done the comparisons between a $4 shake versus a $3 Starbucks coffee versus a Caesar salad that might be $8 that doesn't even have the nutrients. You haven't even done the training that's been posted over and over and over again. Otherwise, you will see the value. Okay, see how that all connects? And if you don't have a personal experience with Shakeology, you're not going to be able to convince somebody else because you yourself are not convinced. Okay, so you feel like a hypocrite. Deep down, you know that you're like a hypocrite, and you're projecting that, and people see that, and they're just like, oh, I'm out. So again, you have to know the objections that people have. If it's about money, and you let it slide, you have to remember, not if you're broke, that doesn't mean that person is broke. Or that person can make less money than you, but they might spend a good amount of money on their fitness supplements. Like they like to spend their money on that. So you can't make decisions for people. I see a lot of coaches kind of like skirt with the Shakeology, and that's because they don't believe in it. That's because they think it's too expensive, because it's too expensive for them. Very simply, it's too expensive for them. They haven't done the research. They haven't done the training. Anybody else, as women, like let's face it, when we want something, what are we gonna do? We're gonna buy it. Okay? I'm gonna talk to my spouse. I can show you a closet full of stuff that I wanted that I did not talk to my spouse about. Okay? I can tell you I did not talk to my spouse about Beachbody. In fact, I did. Okay? So I did not talk to my spouse about first steps to success. I just went 3 days. Bye, babe. Love you. Okay? So when you want something, when people want something, they're going to go after it. So don't make that decision for them. Do not hesitate. Do not waver. Because then they're going to come in and they're going to sell you. We're not selling them. They're selling you on the no. And you're going to be like, okay. Okay? So that's just an example of that. Next slide. Okay. Now this is one of my favorites. Time management. Okay. Whenever you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. Okay? When we sign up for Beachbody, maybe we don't know exactly what we want, and that's okay. Some of us kind of go in like, hey, we'll see where it goes. It happens. Like a lot of moms just kind of, hey, I just want to work out, and then there's Melanie Mitro, who's like a Brazilian star. That's totally possible. But I want you guys to kind of look at what you have. If you could succeed right now, no limits, okay? Ask yourself, am I in this for the business, or is this just a club where I like to share with women about my fitness? It's just a community. Either one is completely okay, but for you to be happy and for your coach to know how to conduct a relationship, we need to know, okay? Because the worst thing that can happen is, like, let's say I bring on a friend, right? And if I present her this opportunity, I feel it's my duty and it's part of my integrity to every day check in with her regarding the business. But if she doesn't communicate to me that she's not ready, it's going to come off as pushy, right? And I don't know that. It's not because, like, I'm trying, you know, I only care. Can you guys hear?
Yeah.
Sorry. So it's not that just I only care about Beachbody, is that I need to know where you're at. And if I didn't care, then I wouldn't check in with you. Then I wouldn't be, hey, are you on that call? Hey, are you getting this training? Because I believe this is what you need to help you. And I presented you this opportunity. I'm not going to abandon you, okay? But if someone tells me, hey, I'm just in it for the community and for the fitness, great. Now, me and you can conduct a friendship where we'll hang out. Let's have a play date or whatever. But now the lines of communication are clear and the pressure is off. Either the pressure is on, and now, hey, ride me, motivate me, be on me, keep me accountable, or let's just be friends. Let's joke about life, fitness, talk about our kids, okay? So first and foremost, get clear on whether this is a business or a club. You don't have to decide that right now, but we'll go over how maybe we can kind of finally clear that up, okay? You can have both, but again, if you want it to be a business, the club thing, the socializing can't be first, and we'll get to that. This is another great quote. Decisiveness is a characteristic of high-performing men and women. Almost any decision is better than no decision at all. Not to get too religious on you, but I'm going to get religious. In the Bible, it talks about just basically just be hot or cold. Get off the fence. You know, like God even says, like either you're for me or you're against me. Like, don't waste my time. So don't waste your own time. Make a decision once and for all whether this is for you or this is not, business or club. Now, time wasters like Facebook. If you, what is the point? This is what boggles my mind when I hear. I understand we all have different schedules. I understand that sometimes we can't make things happen or make certain events, or we're going to miss certain phone. But why are we asking for someone to record a call when we can't even go back to the group and watch one video? That's just more videos that you guys aren't going to watch. So you're wasting our time, okay? But if you don't have time for your business, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that, I bet you had about maybe 30 minutes a day where you're scrolling through Facebook, scrolling, and none of it had anything to do with your business. Let's be honest. Same thing with emails. We literally get lost in stuff, okay? I do it too, but I'm just saying, let's be aware and let's be real, okay? You know, we have to take responsibility for our time. Don't tell me that you don't have time for this or for that, but I know you're on Facebook. I know you're spending hours on articles about how to lose your baby pouch, how to lose weight, this latest fad diet, this latest pill, how to do that or the other, where to go eat on the weekends, or whatever. So, you know, that's the truth of it. How you spend your free time shows your priorities, okay? So that's wasting your time right there. Danny Johnson talks about her priorities are God. Remember, she's a millionaire, and she works 20 hours a week. And according to her, she has her priorities are God, husband, kids, family, and then work, okay? What is she saying with that? Is she saying that she has her priorities, but she's also saying that she makes time for all of them? She doesn't use church to not work her business. Hey, I can't get on that call because I have to volunteer in a nursery on Sunday. Or I can volunteer because I have to be a greeter. God can be first, but he's not an excuse for you to dishonor the opportunity that he has given you, okay? The same thing with your kids, everything else. You have to, if you manage your time well, you will have time for all of your priorities, wherever it is, okay? When you schedule your priorities, they should be a non-negotiable. You have to kind of get really disciplined with yourself. Again, if you have time, we'll get to the planning part. the time that you set aside for your priorities, they need to be kind of set in stone. If you dedicate an hour, it's an hour. When that hour is up, the hour is up. Okay? Honor that time. Honor that time with your spouse. Honor that time with your kids. Honor that time with your with the business. Kind of like with this call that I heard on Diesel Nation. His name was Craig Holiday. He said, "Be where you are." You just kind of have to kind of always be present in that moment and focus on your priorities. Another thing, I wanted to get to this. When we got to the planner, if you guys treated your Beachbody business the way you treated your full-time, would you have the nerve to call your boss and be like, I can't make it to the meeting because I have a baby shower and I'm in charge of the games? Or, we have a brunch. It's my mother-in-law. She just had a bunion surgery and she just got out of the hospital. And it's really important for me to be there. Or I have 5 birthday parties and I have to go to Chuck E. Cheese. It's pizza night. You wouldn't dare tell your boss that, right? If you looked at your Beachbody business as a way of like, man, this is going to pay my bills. This is going to put food on the table. This is going to get me that dream job. If you took it seriously like that, I guarantee you would not care about Chuck E. Cheese. You would look at it much differently. So are you taking it seriously? Are you honoring that time? I mean, for real. I can't be on the phone. I can't be on the call. My favorite show is on. Again, your priorities reflect. When we don't show up to things and we're not doing the training, it sends a message. It's telling your coach, this person isn't serious. Let me not keep pushing this person. Either you're a thoroughbred or you're a donkey. Thoroughbreds want to be run, okay? They want to run the race. They want to be better. They want to win. A donkey just wants to sit on the side of the road and just like people just giving them, just pushing them, right? If you're going to be a donkey, that's great. I'm going to go find me a thoroughbred. Plain and simple. You want to go to Chuck E. Cheese every weekend instead of a Super Saturday? That's fine. Whatever. But like I said, none of those are reasons for you to not work your business. You find a way. If you thought that your Beachbody business was going to pay the bills was the difference between having light, not having light, having food, not having food, you would look at it much differently and you would work it differently and it would show. Okay, now, spouses and kids. Oh, sorry, planner. So, Danny Johnson talked about having a planner, okay? You can have one on Google Calendar. I know we talked about this and it's nothing new under the sun, but she made it a lot of, it's going back to having a target and a path. If you can map out your day and say, I want to dedicate this time to this, that, and the other, it makes your life a lot easier. It makes you a much more efficient person, and it makes everybody else really happy. Okay, so take the planner. Take the planner that you have, get a whiteboard, get out your phone, whatever. I think it needs to be something very visual where everybody in your household can see. And I want you to include your spouses and your kids and plan out and say, hey, this is what we have going on in the week and the month. This is what we're doing on the weekends for a family. This is my date night with my husband. And this is going to be mommy's time for when she's working Beachbody for her business. And that way your spouse and your kids are not going to resent you. They're not going to fight you. Because when they see you working on their business and then they're distracting you, it's basically because they're seeing Beachbody as a threat versus something that you're doing for them, which is why we're doing it. So that's why I encourage you to plan with them, because as soon as you let them know and you include them in that, then they know I am important to mommy. She does care about me. She does want to spend time with me. She is making time for us. She's doing all of this so she can have time with me. And the same thing for your spouse. Your husband or your boyfriend, your significant other, does not want to compete with Beachbody, so don't make them feel that way. When you feel like they have a say, which they don't, they will appreciate that. And I've noticed a difference when I've come back from that, and I've included my kids more, and as well as my husband, and it's a complete difference. It's just giving them that respect and that place of, hey, I'm doing this for you guys, let's do it. So, and I say 21 Day Fix Our Life because, get 5 highlighters for your 5 priorities. It could be red or pink, could be date night with you and your husband. Pencil that in. I suggest you do that because it's really important that you have that time. And when you see that in the calendar, because, oh, no, I'll figure it out. We always make time. No, put it in your calendar, because guess what? When you open it up and you're having a bad week, but you know your date night is coming up, it'll set you straight, because you need to be focused on that. Is that what I'm saying? Because you don't want to get so frazzled, right, that come Friday night, oh, it's date night. Oh, I just want to go to bed, whatever, you know. So at least you have that warning, you have that way that you can plan. So planning your life is really good. You get better at it the more that you do it. I have to kind of train myself to do that every single day. And just remember, practice leads to mastery. That's another thing that she said, practice leads to mastery. Your greatest asset is your earning ability. Your greatest resource is your time. So just think about that. Your earning ability, time. How you manage your time is going to determine your earning ability. How you use it, how you break it up, and how you honor it, okay? Time is very precious. We can make $5 back. We cannot get back 5 minutes. I mean, really, just really contemplate that. Just on a side note, when I think about the people that are just kind of sitting there going, oh, I wish I was 20 again. I wish I was this. We're getting so old, or life is passing us by. You know, they're kind of giving up. Man, it's like, why? I want the next half of my life to be the best of my life, because I don't know how much life I have left, to really be honest with you. I don't know. I was at the beach the other day, and a guy basically dove into the water. He was a couple yards, dove into the water, hit his head. And he's like probably paralyzed, or he could be dead, just like that, from a day at the beach, okay? So look at your time as something that's really precious. It's not guaranteed towards you. Do not take it for granted, and don't waste it. Okay, she talked about universal laws of success, reaping and sowing. And there's another one, it's really the law of promotion, but it's really you're being faithful in the little things, reaping and sowing. Again, what does a farmer do? A farmer doesn't walk out to the field and just kind of hope, you know, stuff is going to spring out. He prepares the soil, he buys the seed, and he plants the seed. One seed with time is going to develop into a stalk. For example, corn. One kernel grows into how many corns? 360. 360. So little efforts will compound over time. Okay. If you're not making those phone calls, if you're not inviting, you're not going to sow, okay? If you're not making the effort, if you're not making the training, if you're not recruiting, it's not happening, okay? So really think about reaping and sowing. You get back what you put out, okay? So if you're not getting, take an honest look at how much you're putting out. Where are you dedicating your time and your efforts? Who are you talking to? How often are you talking to them? Law of promotion, being faithful in the little things. You know, I was talking with Jeanette about, and again, this is me also. It's, I want to do a website, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. You know, why? Until we can focus on just getting the invite down, showing up to team calls consistently, going to a Super Saturday. If we can't be faithful in those little things, we're not going to have the opportunity for the big things. Okay, what makes us think we're going to be ready for that? If we're not ready, if we can't handle getting to diamond, what right do we have to dream for a 15-star diamond? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, we don't even deserve that success. We don't even deserve to even dream that big, okay? So be faithful in the little things, and everything else will come. God will trust you, God will bless you, or you will be blessed with greater opportunity, just like in your job, okay? If you can handle anything that's thrown at you, you're going to get a promotion. The same thing with Beachbody, okay? You're not going to get to 15-star until you get to 1-star. You won't get to 1-star until you get to diamond. You won't get to diamond until you get to emerald, okay? And you won't get to emerald until what do we do? Until we invite, until we post, until we get better at certain things, okay? And the next one is, look at it this way. You may think, I'm doing everything right, I'm perfect, I have nothing to learn, what are you talking about, you're full of it, who are you? Okay, that's fine. But ask yourself every single day, whenever you see yourself making excuses because of someone had a bunion surgery, and you have all these events and all these reasons to not work your business, but you're supposedly recruiting, right? would you want a team of coaches like you? I can promise you that Jeanette would love a team of people just like her. Right?
Oh, we would be a disaster too.
Right. You know, and I mean that in a very nice way. I mean, I'm not saying any of us are perfect, but you would love someone hitting success, your coaches to be resourceful, hitting Success Club, all this other stuff. So for you guys, for me as well, I need to model that coach. I need to be the coach that I want on my team. If it's somebody that's compassionate and you're a compassionate person, that's okay. You don't have to be like Jeanette. You don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like anybody else. But you do have to be the coach that you want on your team or have those resemblances. And if you have any doubt whatsoever that you wouldn't want to work with a team of yous, then you have a lot of work to do. Then you have some things a place to start. Okay, and it all starts with awareness. We all have it. We all have things that we need to be aware of. Again, we talked about ego as a form of fear, but it's just too egotistical to admit that it's afraid. So ego is puffed up fear. Okay, it's going to protect you. Ego tells you, I don't want to talk to that person. They're not nice. They're not approachable. Ego says, I don't have to do it that way because I know better, even though I've never done this before in my life. I don't have to listen to you. Ego procrastinates because you're afraid that you're going to fail. So you will all of a sudden clean your whole house before you sit down and do your social media calendar. You will get on the phone or something before you do something else because that's procrastination. And that's how sneaky it is that we don't even realize it because we think we're being productive in somewhere else. So it's okay, but it's not because we've taken time. We're not dedicating time. We're just avoiding. It's avoiding. We're shifting and avoiding. Ego places blame. Like talked about it before. Ego places your upline. Ego places your team. Ego blames, your job or whatever. Ego makes excuses. Ego is unteachable and uncoachable. Again, none of us have done this before. If you think you know it all, if you have more excuses than you have reasons, then you're not teachable and you're not coachable. You're not going to grow, and you're going to be drained. You're going to be a drain. So either you're coachable or you're just a drain. It's one or the other. And I'm not in this to be drained. I will be there for you, just like you guys will be there for me. But I would never want to drain you. I would never want to waste your time because I have too much respect for you. I have too much respect for the people in your lives to kind of not have my ish together and get out of my own pity parties, okay? So, guys, get over yourselves. Weigh your ego constantly, myself included. Weigh your ego against your bank account, okay? Weigh your ego against your fitness bank account. And if your ego is too big, then this is going to be empty, okay? So you got to check it at the door. And again, if we were to be graded on all these behaviors, on our vital behaviors, how often we show up for team call, how we attended a Super Saturday, mind you, it's not necessarily a checklist, but if we were to be graded on the main components of what it takes to be a successful coach, as how it's been explained to us, what would our coach report card look like? If it was a pass-fail, would you pass or would you fail? Seriously, if it was just on vital behaviors, if it was just on inviting, personal development, just on like the basic stuff, would you pass or fail? So let's give a letter grade, A, B, C, or D. Always look at that. Something I like to do is that whenever I'm doing something, I pretend like another coach is in a room that's at a higher level than I am, or I pretend that one of a challenger's in the room with me, or potential coaches. Okay, so what I'm doing, is it beneficial? Is this something that I want them to see or model? And if it's not, I fall in line really quick. I get over myself, I get over my ego, I get out of my comfort zone, and I do what needs to be done. I pretend that I'm on all the time, okay? Or at least I try. Again, we're not perfect, but when you kind of catch yourself, all right, switch gears. Don't camp there for too long. Switch gears whenever it comes to your attention. Okay, we talked about reaping and sowing and law of promotion, and me and Jeanette have talked about kind of having assignments. So I'm doing this, but kind of like what basically just communicating to you what she's probably already been wanting to do, but just hasn't done it because she says that she's too nice, whatever, which I don't believe. So based on what we talked about today, let's just take it back to the basics. Number one, and I'm going to do it too. Okay, let's hold each other accountable. The reason I think that we're not going back to the trainings and doing the videos is because there's no accountability. Again, for example, when we pay a bill, if we don't pay it on time, we get a late fee. So there's that negative incentive. Or if we don't, apply for something right away, then we're going to miss out on the bonus material. So I think what's happening is that we don't have kind of a consequence to these assignments, so we're just not taking it seriously. And we're goal-driven by nature. We're incentive-driven by nature. So I think the best way to do this is for all of us, not just, I'm just telling you guys to do it, but I think for all of us to kind of sit down and before we start with our goals, picture our perfect day. Okay? What would your perfect day look like? And if you find yourself having doubts, then you have really a lot of limiting beliefs. So just let yourself picture your most absolute perfect day, okay? Visualize it and make it as real as possible. Write it down. You get better at it. Go back to it later. Just let yourself go there. Let yourself believe. It's kind of like when we were kids, like little kids, they didn't know how to walk. Did they care? No, they got up and they just went. They had no idea where they were going. They didn't care if they were going to fall. They would fall and they would get back up, but they were just excited to be walking. And we completely lost that sense of wonder, of imagination, of possibility. Okay? It's been beat out of us, from life, but nevertheless, we can get back to that. So what is your perfect day? I think Vic has expressed how, teaching, she's burnt out. So her perfect day would probably not be teaching and, spending time with Rogue. I don't know what that is, but we all have a perfect day. And if we don't see Beachbody as a solution or as a tool in getting us to that perfect day, then there's a disconnect there. All successful people are big dreamers. They imagine what their future could be, ideal in every aspect, and then they work every day toward that distant vision, that goal or purpose. This is from Brian Tracy. So he's very big on visualizing and on dreaming and getting there and then getting into your goals. Because if you can't see that happening, if you don't have that target, then you can't lay out that path. You can't follow that path. You get what I'm saying? It's just really crucial. So that's something that we're going to do. If Jeanette gives permission, if we can kind of touch base next meeting beforehand. Let's look at these 3 assignments and share. Maybe we can share with each other privately, but I think this is just really going to help us kind of finally lay the foundation. Otherwise, there's no point. Again, if you have a crappy operating system, we can download the most fanciest software, but if your operating system isn't up and running and it isn't up to date, if it's not strong, there's really no point. So this is what we're doing. We're working on our operating system, okay? Number 2, write down the objections that trip you up. Okay, is it a price thing? Is it a spouse thing? Is it time? Whatever it is that you keep hearing the most often, the one where you crumble, write that down. Ask yourself, how do you truly feel about that? Do you agree? And if you do agree, that's okay. But that's where we're going to that's where we start our homework and let's do our scripts. Okay, let's role play. Maybe you need to we need to talk about, again, the value of what a half-hour a day gives us back in our day, how a half hour actually translates into being more efficient, being more productive, and how that can make us more money and make us happier, okay? Again, the same thing with Shakeology. It's 10 desserts, 10 lunches, or 10 dinners, okay? That's going to save you money. I don't have to run out. It saves me on gas. I don't have to run out to Subway or whatever during work. It's going to make me more productive at work. Okay, it's going to give me nutrients. It's going to make me feel better. It's going to make me look better. Whatever your objection is, write it down. How do you truly feel about it? Do you agree? Let's get you to a place where you don't agree, because if you agree and you feel that way, you're going to let your prospect off the hook, and you don't want to do that. Number 3 is let's have everybody get their planner or get something and color code it. Get your priorities straight, and then, okay, these are my main priorities, and I'm going to fit Beachbody every single day around that, and hold each other accountable. Okay, maybe we can find an accountability partner. This is somebody that, you know, we can't always go to Jeanette because Jeanette's busy. So, but we are a team within ourselves. You know, let's partner up, you know, or find somebody else in your life whose opinion that you respect. I've looked at people in the Danny Johnson community. But it's just really important to be able to have someone that's going to keep you accountable and not judge you. Okay. Side notes. For those of us that have a full-time job, like I do, I have a full-time job. And some of us, you know, maybe have other things that we're pursuing, and Beachbody is a side thing, which is totally fine. I just want to kind of bring to your attention that a lot of this training, I didn't realize, like, I don't get this anywhere else. The sense of community, I don't get this anywhere else. And it has made me better in so many areas of my life. And a lot of the skills that I get from being a part of this organization, I have been able to translate into other areas of my life. Okay. So it's very powerful. If you deal with people in any way, this is going to make you a better negotiator. It's going to make you more persuasive. It's going to make you more positive and happy because now you understand people. You know how to address them. You know how to overcome objections. You know how to initiate contact. You know how to follow up. Okay. This is like professional training, and it's going to help you in other areas. So if you're thinking, I already have a job, your job is not doing this for you. Your job is not providing this for you. It is not helping you, making you a better self-marketer, a better salesperson, a better product explainer, or whatever. Okay, so look at it that way. Think big picture and think of what this opportunity that you have in front of you. Also, let's look at our parents. Whenever we start complaining about something, it blows my mind how our parents who came from another country, or when I go get my nails done, I look at these Asians, I'm just kind of like, or Mexicans, these are people that don't know the language, that don't know permits, they don't know anything, but they're going to establish a business. They're just going to do it. They don't think about it. And we're complaining over $15 a month sign-up fee. We're complaining over meeting these points and these meetings and these calls. You know, it just blows my mind, the entrepreneurial spirit and how spoiled we are and how entitled we are. And yet, I mean, I wish I could tap into that hunger, into that just kind of like, they're just going to make it happen. They do. They don't know the language. They don't have any money. They're providing jobs for their families, a future, a legacy. And they're doing it. And here we're born and we have all these freaking excuses. Oh, it kills me. Totally kills me. So think of that. Just think of that next time. And hopefully it'll like shame you a little bit. It shames me all the time because I want my kids to have that spirit. I want my kids to be hungry. Remember, treat Beachbody as if like that's what's paying your bills and that's what's keeping your lights on. That's what's putting food on the table. I think you would take it a lot more seriously. You'll be a lot hungrier. Now, so once we do I think the 3 assignments, and I got you thinking about some of this stuff, maybe we can we can start looking at scripts and role playing. Again, there's no point in us getting into fancy technique and skills until you have gotten straight with why you're here and what you want out of it, right? Because once you know, hey, if you need a car, then you need to go to the dealership. If you don't have a need for a car, why are you at a dealership? You're just walking around. It's really pointless, right? So once we get that foundation of what you have before you, if you want to be a discount coach, if you want to be a club, and this is more for like maybe your other coaches or somebody else who's kind of like wishy-washy. Once you decide what you want out of it, then you know what you're going to get out of it. You know how to get the most out of it. And then we can start downloading the fancy software, downloading the skills. Like Christina has been wanting to do some role playing. Now we have scripts. I think it's a great idea. I've seen Danny Johnson do scripts, and it's like really good training. It's really good technique. And it, you know, we might as well practice on each other that we have confidence than not. Again, find accountability partners. Find someone that you trust that's going to hold you accountable, because it's really easy to let yourself off the hook. But when you know that you have someone that you respect, someone who's putting time into you to make sure that you're successful to your goals, you're going to step up, and vice versa, because you want to impress them. You don't want to let them down. We'll let ourselves each other down all day. We really will. But we won't for somebody else. Okay? So look for an accountability partner, partner up, do whatever you need. These are just some other quotes that might resonate with some of you. Teamwork is so important that it is virtually impossible for you to reach the heights of your capabilities or make the money that you want without becoming very good at it. In other words, we have no other organization or any other, like I can't choose my coworkers. Here we get to choose our coworkers. We are a team. Let's leverage our resources. Don't just kind of plug in and plug out, okay? What does teamwork mean to you? Okay, another thing. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that matters is where you are going. Danny Johnson was abused. She was like a high school dropout. Many of us are not trainers. Some of the top coaches are not personal trainers. They don't have six-pack. But again, they work their business in a way where their business has a six-pack for them, okay? Why don't we need to look at it that way. If what you are doing is not moving you towards your goals, then it's moving you away from your goals. This goes back to, if you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So what are you saying yes to? What are you saying no to? And lastly, just as your car runs smoothly and requires less energy to go faster and farther, blah, 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 when the wheels are in perfect alignment, you perform better. Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your goals. This is why I thought it was really important for us to kind of tackle our beliefs, then our goals, and then our time management. Okay, so there we go. We go from our feelings, our thoughts, and our actions. Destiny, results, goals. And in the end, we're in a people business. If you have issues with people, I don't know. We gotta work on that. But money comes from people. So you have to learn how to talk to people. You have to learn how to deal with rejection, not to take it as rejection. You have to care. You have to be patient. You're not going for the jugular. You truly are building relationships because people will remember that. And another thing is people first and business follows. Sorry, typo. But yeah. Why? Because money comes from people. So when you put people first, okay, before your product, they'll be more interested in your service and in your product because they know where your heart is. Again, I hope some of this stuff was useful to you. Take a look at your excuses. Take a look at your limiting beliefs. Constantly challenge yourself. Weigh your ego against your bank account. Do the assignments. Your actions speak louder than words. When you do something when you want something, you do something when you care. So do the assignments. Let's do it together. Let's grow together. Let's move past. We all want more success, okay? Let's be successful together. That's it.
Woo, Karen!
Yeah, good job.
You were gonna bring it, girl. Just some things that I wrote down, and I think it starts with vision. And I think that, when you get to college, you have this vision of what you want to do, so you get that. So you get your college degree and you're like, I'm going to get married. Okay, fine. You got married. Then you have your house and then you have your kids. And then that's kind of where the vision ends because you have it, right? You have your career, you have the kids, you have the marriage, and then where do you go from there? At least that's for me. I had it all. Like, okay, so I really never had like further vision of where I was going to go, and then Beachbody comes into my life, and I know exactly where I want my life to go. Not only like long term, but within 3 months, I know what my goals are. At the end of the year, I know where I want to be. At the end of that year, I know what I want to be, and at the end of that year, I know what I want to be. And that's kind of like the first time that I've had very, very clear vision and goals written down. Not just saying, no, I want to be this someday. No, it's very clear, and there's deadlines to meet those goals. It's just don't put a goal out there and be like, okay, when it happens, it happens. No, when is it going to happen? And you know what? So what if you don't make it? That's okay. We'll change the date, but at least you have every day you're looking at this date like, oh my God, here it is, and you're pushing forward. Ego, I've seen people really fail in this business because of ego. They were uncoachable. And it is a people business, and is a business about caring about people. And if you don't care, that's unteachable. If you cannot care about people, you will fail. Reaping and sowing, and that's where it starts now. You just got to plant those seeds, and it'll come to fruition. Maybe not as fast as you want it to, but it will. And what you said about community, this is a community, and a very unique community where, in your job, you're not working in teams like this and trying to push each other to be better. And excuses, we all have them. And I think success leaves clues. And I know who's going to be successful because from day one I know what's happening, and I have a lot of excuses of why I don't want to do things, and being a leader, and that's why it's so important that you guys start building a team, because there's that little extra pressure. The times that I don't want to post, well, guess what? I have to be a role model, so I do have to post, and I feel like, I have to be a role model for this team, so I'm always trying to be like, okay, everything now that I do is for you guys. When I'm working for scripts, it's to make you guys better. When I want to build a website, it's for you guys. And I am hungry, and I hope that you guys are hungry too, because there is this beautiful life that we are meant to live, and it's out there. We just have to go for it. So thank you guys. It was an amazing call. Anybody have any questions for Karen?
Oh, I just want to tell you guys, because
I do.
Oh, sorry.
I do. Why are you so awesome?
Oh, look at that. There's Christina.
Yes, I do.
I'm trying to do the whole...
An awesome person, like attracts like. My coach is awesome.
Fantastic call. Seriously, I loved it. Really, really great job. I'm so proud of you.
You guys, I've never done anything like this, and it's all for you guys. It's all for Beachbody. I've always wanted to go to a seminar, and now I'm doing it because I have this opportunity, and I just want to. How can I say? I want to grow into it. I want to be the person that deserves it, But I have to become that person. So it's really just, and I take you guys with me. I take anybody with me. Some people are motivated by money, and that's totally okay. I want to be successful. But there's nothing more, I guess, intoxicating than saying, hey, than seeing how this helps somebody else. So, if it's up to Jeanette one of these days, so you guys can start doing it, and you start doing your own Wednesday calls. You pick a topic because you all have skills. Like Vic is a teacher, so I'm pretty sure she has great organizational skills, presentation skills, and she teaches, like she says, in the ghetto. So I would love to hear her talk. And all you guys have something, so I would love to see you guys do your own Wednesday call, pick a topic, and run with it. It's just going to make you better. It's going to make you a better leader in practice.
I would love for you guys to do that. Anytime anybody wants to do it, we all have our strengths, so feel free. I would love for you to host a call, and I still want us to get a little bigger before I bring like the big people to do our to be our guests, because I want the guests that I bring that more people can learn from them. So you guys, I've never done these things either. So, and I love the PowerPoint presentation. It's so much better than mine. Than my crappy one. But you know what? I like my crappy one, and you're gonna keep seeing.
It's not better. It's different. It has different attributes to bring to the table. It's not better. It's different.
It's a better quality, but that's fine, and I don't care because I got no time for that. No, like I said, that's her strength. This is what she does. She does social media. She does really nice PowerPoint presentations. Everybody, I want to see everybody on the screen, and I can't do it. Karen, can you open up the screen for everybody?
Yeah. Okay, now I'm having performance anxiety. Stage fright. Where was this? Oh wait, I have to
I'm only seeing 4 people. I can't see the whole screen. Or stop share. How about, can you stop the share screen?
Yeah, hold on. Where is it? Can't see that on mine.
And yeah, we can definitely, for next call, go over the assignments of your perfect day. Write down your objections that trip you up. In regards to write down the objections that trip you up, are those talking about the product, or maybe your own personal objections that you have that trip you up?
I think both, because like the way she talks about it is that that how you handle objections reflects your conviction. It reflects your conviction about your product as well as your opportunity. So depending on whether it's a coach opportunity or your product, just write down what your objections are, because that's going to reflect your conviction. And if you waver there, then that means that again, you're projecting onto that person. They sense it, and they're kind of like, oh, you know what I mean? Again, people want to follow people that are confident, they're magnetic, and they're assured. It's like those leaders, those powerful gurus, like Tony Robbins. It's like you're like, You know?
They all started in the same place. I mean, and those are just skills that you will gain with reading, personal development, experiencing failure, doing your own team calls. It's not something you're like, oh, I mean, Karen does a lot of personal development and it had nothing to do with Beachbody. These are things that she's been doing for a long time. So she comes in here with this great foundation of personal development. So it didn't happen overnight.
Oh, Michelle, thank you for this, by the way.
I have to find mine. Jeez.
I'll make photocopies. Again, once I go through this, I'm listening to her CDs, and personal development is great, but, another thing I learned from Danny Johnson, live what you learn. We're not passive learners. This is an active learning process. We've got to get it going. Open a book, try it out. Send an email. Voila! Like Jeanette is having a lot of experience with the scripts. So once you know your objections, open up your script book, follow it, get your brain out of it, get your heart emotion out of it, just follow it. It's such a system. It's unreal. You guys, really.
I hope you guys are using the scripts. Has anybody had success using the scripts so far? Has everybody printed out the scripts I'm talking about?
I'm having success with people saying, yes, I want the product. Like, yes, sign me up. And then because we're having the conversations like during business hours where we can't necessarily, purchase the product at that time, then when it comes down to actually purchasing the product, that's where it's stalling.
And then, okay, so I say, okay, we'll talk about it later. Say, hey, listen, I just want to make an appointment because I don't want to miss your phone call. At what time can I call you so this can happen?
No, I've gotten to that point where we've made the appointment, we've spoken at our designated appointed time, but then twice now they were unavailable to actually move forward and purchase the product at that time. Whether I caught them in the store or I caught them at dinner. That right now, that's where the stall is.
Back to when can I call you, and just keep saying, make that next appointment. When can I call you so we can purchase the product?
But maybe we can do different options of different things. Again, adapted towards you. But I think Danny, I've seen her use it in a way that you have to go for the clothes. I mean, the price is the price. You can't get around that. So once you just get, hey, it's $140, it's $160. Again, you can't decide for that person if it's too cheap or too expensive. You prepare up to that. And again, let me not act like I'm an expert. Let me go back to what she does. She will tell you, if price is an issue, she's kind of like, hey, you don't want those people anyway. Maybe you need to find someone who can afford it. But she also kind of puts the ball back in their court and just kind of is it really the money, or is it that you just don't want to hurt my feelings and you're just not ready? Okay. Yeah. And that just puts that takes the pressure off of them, and they'll be like, no, I'm ready. Okay, so just kind of don't be afraid to challenge them a little bit, because again, if you haven't demonstrated the value, if they still have a doubt, they're going to hide behind the spouse, money, or time. Those three things. And those are all three objections. So once you're able to handle those, and once you have the scripts for all three, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, even if you get a no, Christina, it's like I think Jeanette said earlier, it's not no forever, it's no for now, but you put them at the bottom of the list and come back to it. But don't waste your time following that person forever because you're just chasing a unicorn or whatever. It's just not going to happen. They're not ready. If they're not mentally ready, then you don't want to sell to that person anyway, because they're not. It's going to sit on their shelf, and they're not going to get the best out of it anyway. So.
And do those follow-up emails saying, I'm saving you a spot, There is a sense of urgency. And you got to move on. And that's why you have to work with so many people. And you just can't say, I'm going to talk to 3 people for the whole month and they're all going to buy. It's not going to happen.
You want to hear something crazy? Danny Johnson and all the people in her community talk to at least, their thing is 30, 40 people a day. But
I don't know where they're getting those 20, 30 people a day.
Okay, no, but my point is that 3 to 5 is nothing. We can do more. So it's a numbers game. That's what the only thing I'm going with. I mean, I'm not a call center person. She also talks about that she herself is not someone that you're going to find online. So if you're good face to face, person to person, you have to work it. Work those personal contacts. Next time she did a role playing, it was really amazing. About next time you're in the store. Don't be, and I've been that mom, so many times, where you're in your phone, moving along. Don't do that. Engage in people, engage in your surroundings, ask questions. Be interested in other people. You don't know who that person is, what they can lead to. You know, don't look at it as a sale, but you just don't know. This is someone that you want in your network and you want their network.
Yeah, it's always trying to do that network marketing of like, how can I get them in my contact list? And every goal with a stranger is how can I get them in my contact list?
And it's not even like that. It's just, you just form them. Hi, how are you? What are you doing here? The weather. Man, this line is really long. Talk to them like a human being, and then the conversation will go from there. And you'll just get better at it, just because, you know, now I literally have gone to the point where everywhere I go, I'm looking at a person's name tag and I'm addressing them by their name. These are little things that are just making me more aware, more conscientious, more considerate, I guess, you know? We're just so in our little world, but those little behaviors are great. It's like how to win friends and influence people. You just care about them, you look them in the eye, you know their name, and that's, you know, that's where you start. She also mentioned, and maybe I'll talk about this in another thing. I'm also going to Dynasty, by the way, in 2 more weeks. So again, Beachbody had me going to this seminar. I'm going to Dynasty, and I'm going to Summit. Like I love it.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
I haven't done Dynasty.
No, yeah, I heard it was like amazing. But so she talks about ponds. You know, so look at you. You have work. You have maybe the gym. You have your neighbors. You have whatever. So all these ponds are fish, right? These are your circles of influence. And if you're not fishing in your pond, somebody else is. How many people, because if you're not approaching those people about your product or the opportunity, somebody else is. Okay? And if you're not taking advantage of that, your warm market, and you're going to be fishless. Again, how many of you have, I mean, every person I know has heard of Mary Kay, every person I know has heard of this, every person has heard of Beachbody. So look at your ponds, look at your influence, start engaging. Even if these are people that you've known forever, if you change your attitude, they're not going to be like, what's up with her? But just look at them differently. Look at them like something new. These are your ponds.
Sometimes when I approach people for the business opportunity, they're like, oh, thank you so much for thinking of me. It's not for me, but they're kind of grateful that you thought of them for this business. So that's, you know, it's only our insecurities that kind of prevent us from going out there. This is a gift, and why wouldn't we want to share this gift? So, all right, guys, thank you so much for coming on the call, and we have another call Wednesday. The new coach training goes back to Sunday. Start recruiting those coaches, because we are going to start the first Monday of June, but they need the week before to do the whole coach training online. If you do get a new coach, I can put them in my welcome email. I also can give you guys a welcome email so that you can start with MailChimp and have your own welcome email. If you only have one coach, you can just copy and paste it every day if it's not a problem, if you don't want to spend the $10 for the automation from MailChimp. But go out there and recruit, man. Don't wait until, don't keep waiting to talk about this business. And I eventually will do some scripts on how to invite to the business and where to go from there. Questions? No? Oh, let me take a picture. Yay, cheese. Maybe I won't put a picture. Maybe I'll just.
Oh my God.
Right, guys. So thank you so much, Karen.
Good job, Karen. Thanks.
So I can't wait to see your planners. We're gonna go.
And the highlighters.
I would love to hear your perfect day. My perfect day probably includes a lot of napping. So anyway, thank you guys for indulging me.
All right, guys. Great job.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great job.
Bye.
Oh, you control it, Karen. So.
Oh, all right. Bye.